this is sort of, when you're writing your story and sometimes you put the little footnotes off to the side that are related to other experiences that we've had that we thus share with others by virtue of the speed at which we're learning who we are. So I run a cosmic level microphone or an antenna, which is full sensing capacity. And so what I read, what I'm capable of reading is what we call resistance to experience zero. To experience the purity of your own heart, which is the inner child, the inner eartha sync. Right? And so I've mentioned this a few times before. It means that I can read the DNA, and that means map read the codes. And the codes that their state of consciousness, their solar arcing spiritual essence, what they're held captive to. So now we're back to the speed at which they can recover, which is full recalibration, which is the original codes. So they're running the original template, the right codes, the hydrolayed codes, light water, light spirit. Right? So what we're doing is we're mapping the codes, the frequencies that represent the letters, the codes, and whether they're running the right codes. So the resistance is the antichristic spiral, because the antichristic spiral is anti-life, which is anti-love, which is the resistance to experience pure love in their own heart. That's really what it is. Now we're back to fire and experience the eternal spirit of fire within you, so that every spirit in every cell is on fire. If your cells are not running full sensing capacity, which is the Christos Sophia avatar, we're going to read that, which is called resistance. Okay? And that is also called what? Like the previous video, the resistance to learn. Right? So an example of that would be Misha was not in a resistant mode to learn. Okay, through the one, because I experience my creator in my heart, because I'm in love with my creator, because I'm experiencing eternal, pure, absolute love. Misha was experiencing that in her, and she wanted to free her spirit so she could experience in her the love I was experiencing in me, she was experiencing in her. But there are others that are in resistance to experience their inner child, which is the resistance to experience their creator, the purity, which is eternity, which is eternal, absolute, pure love. So if they're in resistance to that, isn't that sort of counterintuitive? That they would actually be in resistance to experience the relationship that they have with their own creator, to experience pure, eternal, absolute love? Where's that resistance coming from? Victimizer software. They're in fear of experiencing that. They're in fear. They're in resistance to experience the purity of Christos Sophia. The first one, the first star, the purest heart, the purest love that goes on forever. Creation energy itself, the purest creation energy there is. That's right. Remember? Neil? It's your fault, Neil. That's victimizer software. That's resistance to experience being one, equal unto all the others. That's where the arrogance comes out. I don't have nothing to learn from you. I don't need to learn through you. I'm going to shut you off because you can read my DNA and you realize I'm in resistant mode and I don't want to keep experiencing it by having a relationship with you because I know that you know that. So what happens is when I have a relationship with you, I become aware of what I'm in resistance to because I'm experiencing, knowing that I'm in resistance against my own self, experiencing that because you're aware of it. Now I'm aware of what you're aware of. I'm going to cut you off because I don't want to be aware of what it is that I'm aware of through you because I'm in denial of the truth. That's living in fear of experiencing zero. The inner child, because the inner child is so deeply wounded. Now we're back to Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Got in my hands and knees. Cry like a little baby. I surrender. And I forgave myself. And I forgave all the others. To return to zero. To experience purity in me. Now the firewall is back up running. Now that antichristic spiral has no power over us. That means you restored yourself to experience the love that you experience in you, that others experience in you. Now your firewall is up. That's called restoration. You're restored. That's what step 11 is. As a result of a spiritual awakening. My spirit is on fire. Now the spirit, which is what I am, is on fire. Now I'm experiencing the fire of the first star. And that's how simple it actually is. So this is where kid gloves, you know what kid gloves are? Be soft and be gentle. Right? Because at the end of the day, they got to do it on their own. We cannot do it for them. Right? So it's just like leaving the information, and if it's like anything else. It's like when I was a child growing up. I don't think you realize how much I actually love you when it comes to future memories. But if the repeated patterns of behavior don't correct themselves, which means correcting those codes because you're doing the inner work yourself through your own inner soul and spirit, being led by spirit to do what it is that we got to do, just like when I got the signal, get rid of this phone. I'm still using this phone to communicate. But I have a schedule that's right on time. I can make certain adjustments because of the speed at which you operate. So I know that it's still very ever present in my mind. Right? But I don't give up on nobody. That's the main reason I'm still using this phone. Because I have acquired a number of new friends that I've shared some things with that resonate with them. And that's the purpose of learning, because we're all learning through each other. The direction that we're all going in with each other, which are future memories of why we're all here. Right? So I'm not in resistant mode to share everything that I experience. I'm an open library. Right? So any censoring that gets done is censoring myself. Because of knowing the reaction state by reading their resistance. And that becomes a Mr. Smith antichristic spiral pop-up. Right? Now they want to cut you off. So when they cut you off, that's Mr. Smith cutting me off. Okay? Because they're held captive by that spiral. And they know it. That's called exposure. They don't want to be exposed because you've exposed them. See? Of what's operating in the subconscious, which is the reactive memory codes, which is the codes that they're running, which are not the right codes, which are deadlight codes that they're held captive by, which is the antichristic spiral. So when they become aware of what we expose by virtue of what we communicate, see ya, they cut you off. That is not a good sign, is it? I am very well versed on how to operate in this AI battlefield environment. Okay, that's why what it is that I share so that folks can understand when you're running zero, which is the highest state of awareness, which is what love is, it goes on forever, right? That means we're running at a higher rate of speed than the AI is. So I have a higher state of awareness, so that's why I share what I share. So that's why when you have a higher state of awareness, you're running at a higher rate of speed because you're spinning your vortex through your heart and your soul at a higher rate of speed to have a higher state of awareness. Because you're running on the right codes, the original codes. Which means you restored your template. Right? Christos Sophia, the first star. Now you're experiencing the purity of that love in your own heart. Now you're on fire to create. Right? So now you're back into all the time looping. Right? Over and over and over and over again. Nothing new really changes. Now you're into the speed at which change is taking place. Which is the speed at which the code transfers, right? Recalibrating the right codes, the right spin codes. So that's called time sensitive, which is called timing. That's what we monitor. Is the speed at which this is taking place. Operating in a massive black hole. Miasma. Right? Breathing dead spirals. Dead spirit spirals. So anyway, have a beautiful day. We love you all.